astrologer and life coach Penny Dix, and welcome to a heads up short live video streamed on Facebook via Gozo in the House, who are hosting this event. Yet again, thank you so much for hosting me, Gozo in the House. Tonight, I'm actually looking at it out the window, and I'm not going to try and show you because the moon isn't quite full yet, but we have a harvest moon and it's in Pisces, and it actually goes full this Saturday, the 10th of September. And I wish I could show you, but it just won't show up on the camera, sadly. But anyway, but also Saturday is quite an action-packed day because not only do we have this rather special full moon in Pisces, but we also have our little planet of communication, Mercury, turning retrograde. Yes, we have a retrograde Mercury few weeks up until October the 2nd to do all sorts of kind of things to our communications and make sure they don't run smoothly. Or does it? Because I am going to tell you a little bit about this Mercury retrograde in this video as well. But let's look at the full moon in Pisces first, because Pisces is such a romantic, dreamy and kind of mysterious sign. So it's interesting because if we start with where the sun is, the sun of course is in Virgo. Now Virgo is about detail. It's about mental detail. Mercury actually is also the ruler of Virgo, as well as being the ruler of Gemini. And so Virgo has this, again, capacity for communication, but there's a lot of thought and kind of ruminations that can go on whilst the sun is in Virgo. So a full moon in Pisces is almost like okay, we can sit back whilst the sun shines her light on this moon in Pisces. And Pisces and the full moon is a much more kind of emotional moon. So you may find yourself feeling quite emotional with the energy as it builds towards this full moon on Saturday. And it may be that certain things have to end, to come to a close, to move on. But there's always a sense, I think, with Pisces energy that it's kind of like, well, that's okay. It's okay, it's done, or it's served its purpose. Remember, Virgo is about service. And what's interesting with this full moon is it's conjunct Neptune, which rules Pisces. And also the moon is conjunct the asteroid Juno, which is about relationships. So we may find ourselves getting very kind of carried away and full of romantic dreams about the partner of our, dreams and fantasies and choice. And so it may actually be quite a nice full moon for seeing changes, significantly positive changes in relationships. This is partly because Uranus, my big boy Uranus out there in Taurus, our planet of the unexpected, our planet of innovation and invention and surprise, is making what is known as a sextile to the full moon. This is a helpful aspect. And Uranus is still conjunct the North Node, which is about our destiny. Now in the event chart, which I've set up for this full moon, which is in British summertime, so I set the chart for Greenwich Mean Time, it's really quite interesting because Uranus and the North Node are in the part of the chart that is to do with significant relationships. And that's why I think this full moon could somehow bring something to the surface to do with a romantic dream. And that could be really super interesting. Now, the other energy that we've got is that the sun in Virgo is actually making a trine, which is like that, which is a kind of helpful angle to Uranus. And so this is also giving some kind of wings, if you like, to this romantic notion that our romantic dreams just kind of could just unexpectedly manifest. So quite nice energy in that sense for what we might expect with this full moon. But what else? Because also the full moon is making a hard aspect, which is a square, to Mars. Now Mars is in Gemini, and Mars is our planet of action, energy, assertion. It can also be sexuality. Now, if this full moon is about relationships, then could be quite an interesting kind of weekend that some of you will enjoy. And the other thing with Mars is that it is also squaring the sun. So this is also saying, slow down, take it easy. Don't run before you can walk, because that Mars energy, which is overthinking things in Gemini like crazy, it's like you might have a chance encounter with someone and it's just saying to you, just give this a bit of time. Use that Saturn energy, which is still there down in Aquarius, retrograde, and Saturn is squaring Uranus. So there is some kind of resolution that is coming towards us in October with regard to close relationships. Now, also we need to just have a quick look at Mercury, because of course Mercury on Saturday is going retrograde. And when the moon goes full, Mercury will have already stationed retrograde. Now, we all know that Mercury can cause lots of problems with technology, with the internet, for example, with just our devices playing up, not doing what they should do, or not updating. It can also represent messages and emails going astray, not getting there. We forget to press send. All these kind of energies can happen with a Mercury retrograde. But you know, there's also a very positive side to Mercury going retrograde, because first of all, Mercury is going retrograde in Libra, which is an air sign, and it's about balance. It's also about justice. So do you think there might be a situation in your life where the scales have been tipped against you, that perhaps this Mercury retrograde might see those scales tipping back to actually be in a favourable position for you, in the sense that it's giving you the opportunity to go back and look again at any situations that have not been resolved, or situations that have perhaps stuck in a kind of stalemate kind of energy. Now, if that's the case, then use this Mercury retrograde to really kind of look at how you can recover certain kind of ideas and thoughts, and make or turn around certain conversations that have perhaps not gone too well to a point where actually you take a few steps back, you breathe, and you think, okay, now I'm much clearer about what I want to say. But just watch it when Mercury retrogrades back into Virgo. Now, Mercury, as I said, also rules Virgo. And as much as Mercury likes Virgo, it tends to overthink a bit when it's in this sign. So Mercury actually goes back into Virgo. I think it's around about the 23rd, 24th of September. I can't remember and I haven't got it written down here. And so, but it's round about then, and Mercury stays there until it goes direct again on October the 2nd. But the other thing that we need to be mindful of with this energy is that Mercury is going to be having 3 points where it's opposite, expansive, opportunity-ridden Jupiter in Aries. This could be very interesting because Jupiter, as I said, is in Aries and it expands everything it touches. It brings us opportunity. It brings us luck. And it's opposite Mercury. So what is this saying to us? Well, it's like there could be a lot of opportunity coming to you from going back, as I was saying earlier, and looking at situations that you perhaps have put on the back burner, kind of left in the in tray, but I'll deal with it. It's in the too hard pile, or the pile that's just too complicated to somehow work out. So Jupiter actually is giving you an opportunity to go back, and you might find that you have some insight and a kind of lucky, intuitive kind of idea that comes because of the full moon that we've also got setting the tone on Saturday when Mercury goes retrograde. Now Mercury is going retrograde, Mercury is going to be opposite Jupiter at three different points. It's already been opposite Jupiter earlier this week, round about the, I think it was the 3rd or 4th, but I can't quite remember. And I also haven't got it written down. Very disorganized. This is probably all due to Mercury going retrograde soon. So, and interestingly, actually that is interesting as I'm saying that, because for me, Mercury is going retrograde in the 3rd house of my natal chart, which is about specifically communication. So there you go. I'm actually acting out a little bit of Mercury retrograde by not having all the information that I thought I would need in front of me. But never mind, I will carry on. And then Mercury is also going to be opposite Jupiter during September. I believe it's the 18th. And then it also goes opposite. When it goes direct again, when it's in Virgo, it will go direct back into Libra, and it once again will be in opposition to Jupiter on the 12th of October. Now these specific points, and I will do some heads up about them that'll be on my YouTube channel to just remind you of these dates, because they really could be very helpful for bringing opportunities to you in challenging situations around justice, balance and communication. So that's really what I want to say about that. Now finally, we just need to look at Pluto, our planet of transformation, still retrograde in Capricorn, is actually in the sector of the chart to do with communication, which is interesting because it's making what we call a semi-square to Mars in Gemini. So there's something here about an undercurrent of energy. It's as if you sense somehow on an inner level that if you could just take the brave steps that you need to take to transform your life and to take the risks that really, we never know what's going to come from a risk taken. But you know what? If we stay where we are, then we'll never know. So calculated and kind of balanced risk taking is really quite an interesting energy to think of using, both with the full moon in Pisces and with the Mercury retrograde. So on that note, I'm going to bring this particular live broadcast to a conclusion. If you want to check out my full moon video, it is on YouTube, and I also go through each of the individual zodiac signs to tell you exactly what area of your life you will be most affected by this particular full moon. And I've also got another video on my YouTube channel which is about the Mercury retrograde, and again the area of your life that you can expect to be affected by with that particular energy. So do check them out. And in the meantime, I'd like to say thank you so much again to all of you who have recently subscribed to my YouTube channel and elevated me. Hi, there's loads of people saying hello and hi Heather, hello Adrian. There's a lot of love, but I want to say thank you so much to everyone who has recently subscribed to my YouTube channel and got me to over 1,000 subscribers. This is super great. Thank you so much. So thank you again to Gozo in the House. And if you haven't checked out Gozo in the House, it is an online digital magazine, and the team at Gozo in the House have some wonderful events coming up. So you really would be wise to sign up for Gozo in the House, to just go to their page and like them, so that you will see when there's some music stuff coming up, music festivals and lovely kind of parties and wonderful live events, which I think are going to be super cool and super interesting. So they're really worth checking out. So in the meantime, thank you all so much for joining me tonight, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.